Hello everybody! Today we have a brand new ban list by Konami for speed duels. I've already looked at it, this isn't a reaction, but this is going to be me going through it with you and basically telling you my opinions on it. As you can see, we have the limit 3s, nothing has been taken off it, but we have added Wall of Disruption, Machine Angel Ritual, Cyber Angel Ben 10, Twisted Personality, and I'm Just Gonna Attack. I'm broadly fine with all of these. Now, I want Crystal Regeki and Sidra off this list, because frankly, those are stupid, and get them off there. I don't care. Neither one of them are terribly relevant. They just aren't going to get played as long as they're on there. And Wall of Disruption to 3 is arguably fine. I don't feel it's necessary, considering a lot of people were already starting to switch out to Windstorm to really, really punish Gaia, because Wall doesn't do anything to Dark Gaia. So, whatever. I mean, if this had been last ban list, I would have been, yeah, fine, I get it. Machine Angel Ritual and Ben 10 are fine. I would have used Edatin, not Ben 10, so I would have hit the ceiling and the repeatability of making 3,500 Izanas, not the consistency, but, I mean, Ben 10 and Mar is fine. Twisted Personality and I'm Just Going to Attack, I don't actually think putting I'm Just Going to Attack to 3 is enough. I mean, you do have to trade out a staple for it, so that's fine, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, Joey's not really... How do you hit Joey? It's just a pile of good stuff junk. TP, I would have put this in 2, but we'll see why in a second. So I'll just scroll on up there at that point, and here we are! Shell and Ladybug. And fucking Hangar is still at 2. I'm not going to stop complaining about that until this is off. This does not need to be here. Get it off. Free it. Make it unlimited. Anyway, Golden Ladybug 2. Perfectly. Lovely. You should have put TP up here, because this does not compete with anything except Shell. And the problem I have with putting Shell here instead of Blaze Accelerator, which is my personal choice for the Volcanic hit, is because you've killed Volcanic as a deck. Not Volcanic TP, you did drag that out back and completely blow its head off, and it's dead and never coming back. But you've killed normal Volcanic too. They can only play Doomfire now, because 2 Shell is terrible. It's just not enough. So, I don't like this hit. I would have preferred Blaze. But whatever, it's fine. Your heart's in the right place. I just feel you were excessively mean to Volcanic when... As long as TP and Ladybug are not running around alongside Volcanic, we're fine. Which is why this should be up here. But whatever. And then 1 is Offerings. I hate this. This is stupid. Just... Offerings to 1 irritates me on so many levels. We just started playing this. Like, people were kind of playing it before, but we, actually just started playing this. Because it's the only good fucking removal. We don't play Tribute to the Doomed, cause it sucks. We don't play Michizuri, cause it sucks. We play Offerings cause it's the only good card. And then you put it to 1. Why? Dear Lord, why? Especially cause, that hit makes the CA hits less impactful, cause I can't double tap as easily anymore, cause I only get 1 of these. I don't know. I hate this one. This is dumb. This is a stupid hit. And again, I still want Union Hangar. So overall, the list is fine. It's just Offerings to 1 is kind of a big black eye on it, and nothing coming off is irritating. Because I'm going to talk briefly now beyond the list, because the list, again, is fine. It changes enough stuff. It's okay. We hit the top decks, as it should, and we can move on. The problem I have here is, look at how fucking full Limit 3 is getting. It's just every decent card we have is all getting piled into Limit 3 all on its own. And it's just getting excessively crowded down there. Crystal Raigeki does not need to be here. Frickin' Cyber Dragon does not need to be here. There's an argument you could take off Cosmic Cyclone. I wouldn't, but you could. There's an argument there. Because right now, this entire list, unless you are expressly playing CA, this entire list can be called the DD Warrior Lady, the Floodgate Trap Hole, and the Wall of D list. Because everything else on it doesn't matter. Those 3 beat everything else out so hard, they don't matter. Even Crystal Beasts will drop Raigeki to run Floodgate or Wall of D or DD Warrior Lady instead. This is the problem we have here. So I personally would take DD Warrior Lady and Floodgate and put them in limit 2. So A, it's clearly a good card because everyone keeps running it. Thereby, it should be more limited. And then B, you can actually run Book of Moon or Cosmic or Breaker or something else. Free up 3 a little more. The other problem I have, and this is going to go with offerings here, part of my bitching about why it's on there at all, is because they're basically yelling at us for running the good cards. Okay, you don't want me to run a card back from the old Battle City box. How about you print a card that's at least comparable to it? That's the problem. We're all still using offerings because you haven't given me anything else. Hammershot is not the same. It is worse. You have not given me Fissure. You have not given me Smashing Ground. You haven't given me much of anything to work with here. That's the issue we have. We all run this and Wall and Floodgate. I mean, Floodgate's just broken by itself. But Wall of Disruption, Offerings to the Doomed, and Book of Moon were all getting ran because what was competing against them? In the case of Book of Moon, I don't really know how you power creep that. In the case of Wall of Disruption, I mean, again, you can't really power creep that one. But here's the thing, between this and, say, Floodgate. There is no nerfed worse version of Floodgate. Floodgate is still unique, and thereby, because it is unique, it is much harder to replace in a list. Meaning, you're going to keep seeing a lot of Floodgate. Now, the argument, obviously, is Wall of D is also busted out the ass, isn't it? Wall of D is very good. Wall of D has downgrades, but they're still good cards. You can run Widespread Ruin. I don't recommend this, but you can run Widespread Ruin. It's fine. Sphere Karibo comes out of the hand and stops one attack, but it's enough. Windstorm of Atahakwa will just entirely fade a battle phase. Wabaku will fade a battle phase. There's a bunch of cards that do the same thing Disruption does, but Disruption was just more punishing than they are. They'll all do the thing of saving you from dying in a battle phase, which is what Wall of D does 90% of the time. It just also inflicts damage on your opponent most of the time. Whereas Floodgate is unique. Much like Book of Moon in that regard. But Book of Moon, people just kind of live without. Honestly, DD Warrior is probably the more... No, that one even has it. That one's got frickin' Other Dimension Warriors. Floodgate doesn't have Trap Hole. There's a million Trap Holes. The only one we have is, what is it, Adhesion? And Adhesion is terrible. It's just bad shrink. So that's the problem. The actual comparison to Floodgate would be Bottomless or normal Trap Hole. Now, Bottomless might be too good. I say might, honestly, because it doesn't hit things like Donzalug or the Alchemy tokens or a whole bunch of tiny things that are actually relevant to us. But normal Trap Hole would be fine. We can just have that. We've all survived Floodgate. But there's nothing in the whole card pool that does what Floodgate does. So we are constantly going to have to compare the entire Limit 3 list to Floodgate if you need to run Floodgate. And let's be honest, Floodgate's an exceedingly busted card. So we're all going to keep comparing stuff to it. And this isn't necessarily a problem with the ban list, per se. This is a problem with the fact that Konami refuses to appreciably raise our power level, so we just keep winding up with tons and tons and tons of cards in Limit 3 because we all just keep running good stuff piles. I mean, you've all seen it. We have an awful lot of decks that are effectively, here's my engine of choice, good stuff pile. Granted, that is what old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Was in a lot of cases. You had about 15 cards that were in most decks, because that's all there was. There wasn't a lot of choice in the matter. I'm not necessarily complaining about that. I am complaining about the fact that you need to power creep at least a little. Otherwise, we wind up in this situation where we have to keep throwing things on the list, and the list keeps getting exponentially larger because nothing you're doing is killing anything. So we sit here with these Byzantine list going on. I mean, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And we never take anything off, because if we take it off, we'll all just go back to playing that and drop this garbage card we have. Like, no one is suddenly going to go, well, I guess I have to replace offerings with something. You can't. What are you going to replace it with? Tribute? Tribute is terrible. Offerings is effectively costless, in quotes. Removal. Fissure is a comparison. Smashing Ground is a comparison. You could go back to Hammershot, but again, Hammershot is terrible. And that's almost too much of a downgrade. So, we need something else. And Konami, you need to give it to us. Please. That's what I'm asking for. And also, just get Union Hangar off this list, for the love of God. Please, just take Union Hangar off the list. Please, I am begging you. With all that being said, what do you guys think of the list? Overall, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It's actually fine. I sound like I'm bitching a shitload, but I'm bitching in, like, theory. Like, the theory of the list is what irritates me more than anything else. And down the road is what irritates me more than anything else. But the actual list itself is quite fine. The shell one's a little mean, and offerings just irritates the hell out of me, which is why it's down those many points. Most of that is offerings. But what do you guys think? Remember to leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff, and I will see you guys all next time.